What's happening, hey? Been recording a few videos recently, and I've been kinda engaging in comments and stuff like that online, and I've been floating a few ideas around with people. One of them being that it was suggested that there should be like a group of people that would talk to all of those that would be involved in the anti-corruption activism. We'll just call it that, because that's essentially what it is. Be ye left or be ye right, or be ye in the middle, even though nobody's defined what the middle actually is. Irrespective of that, or what your beliefs are, we can all agree on one thing, that we don't like corruption and criminality. It's as simple as that, right? So, because of that, the way that we can think of this is that we're all on the same team, right? If anybody has watched a team play, the fundamental thing that you have to understand about a team, for example, a football team, soccer, whatever you want to call it, basketball, doesn't matter, right, is that every player on that team plays different. They think different. They have different tactics. But they all train together. They collaborate. They cooperate. And they work as a team with a strategy. Depending on how well they play that out, or who their opposition is, depends on their success or not. And usually if you have good teamwork by a group of individuals who think differently, but collaborate and have the same target in mind, you have good results. And that's the same way that it should be in reality when it comes to us. And by us, I mean even people who have opposing views. They think differently. They think different to you. I don't think the same as you, you don't think the same as me. Just the same as we wouldn't play football the same. So we wouldn't. You know, but we're still playing the same game. Football. Or anti-corruption. So, you need to all stop being at each other's throats. Right? Me included. And there's certain things that we can all agree on that would be fundamental principles of the way that we should operate with each other. Right? And basically what that is simplifying the problem, simplifying the solution, and simplifying an actual plan to enable the solution to come to fruit. You know, so how can we do all that? Well, if you're going to be recording and sharing information, the main thing to understand is if you're sharing something that you are not the author of, then you didn't think about that the same way as the person that you're sharing the information from. And the reason that you're sharing it is because you value that information. Whatever that information shall be, you value it, right? So, what we should be doing for each other to stop this misinformation and confusion that's going on online quite a bit. For example, say if you're watching a video of something happening in public in the street, say a row in the street or a crime or something along those lines, it always helps to know the date, the time, the location, and the context of what's happening within that video clip, right? No matter what it is. You know, should it be a protest? Should it be a demonstration? Should it be a confrontation? Absolutely anything. It should be recorded, especially in public. Because you have the right to do that. Everybody does. And we should, to protect each other as well as ourselves. Right? But date, time, location, and context of what's contained within the video, or photograph, or even just paragraph of writing. It should have all that, so that there's no confusion as to what is coming from that. That will then allow people to be able to formulate a solution, right? Keep solutions simple, right? Now, left, right, and the middle. What is one solution that we can all focus on to a problem that we all share, irrespective of what way you think that everyone else should be or are thinking? We all agree on this thing. Corruption and criminality. We don't want it. Right? So, a real solution to that. Who are the people that usually, the corruption and criminality, who's that usually targeted at? Well, right now at the minute it seems to be the politicians and public representatives. Right, we can all agree on that, can we not? So, there is a thing in, what would you call it? English law, common law, the foundational law of most legal systems around the world. Right? It's known as malfeasance in a public office, which means that you're a public official. You have a duty of care to the public. But if you're using your position to further your own want for greed and accumulation, then you're actually being malfeasant. You're not doing your duty. You're not protecting the public. You're taking advantage of them and your situation. Malfeasance in a public office, which can lead to actual criminal charges being brought against someone. For example, if there's a corrupt politician out there that has family, or even themselves, that are benefiting from a business as a shareholder, or even just through nepotism, being part of the family, knowing that you're going to get a share, that's an abuse of your power and your position. It's called malfeasance in a public office. So it is. And anybody can take anybody to court that's a public servant for that. And if you read up about malfeasance in a public office, now this can go for America, can go for the UK, can go for the South, when it comes to Ireland, because the Crown operates both North and South, makes the laws, enforces them. So malfeasance in a public office, you read up on it, it is legitimate, it's foundational, and the best thing about it is, if you can prove that that person is criminally benefiting from their position, they can, and more than likely will, have criminal charges brought to them too. They will be removed from their job. You don't have to wait until elections come up to have somebody removed. This is the process to do it. They're heard in court, found a criminal, removed from their position so that no more criminality can come from them being there. Their families stop benefiting because of winning, say, contracts monetarily, fucking profiting from the public. You know, that's a genuine thing. Here's another one for you, right? We have this amazing thing that we can exercise that is known as citizen's arrest, right? And I'll repeat an example of that I've previously given. And that would be, there's groups of people now at the minute that are hunting down predators of children. And they're bringing the evidence to them, usually on the phone, proving that they've been in contact with children and talking about things they shouldn't, which are illegal. And then they're also printing out all the evidence. They're then going to speak to that person, making sure that they're staying exactly where they are until the police show up. Should that be having to put hands on them? Now, these people that do that are amazing, because what they'll do is they'll have one person at each side of the predator, and they'll just grip them round the arms, and then they can't move. Some of them have to hold them down on the floor. They're not beating them to a pulp. They're just holding them there. Reasonable force, it's called. The police have the power to do it, so do you. Now, the reason that you're allowed to do that is because that person is participating in a criminal act, right? They're a criminal. It's not because they're a predator, it's because they're a criminal. You can also do that to all criminals, so you can. For example, a criminal politician walking down the street with all these public servants protecting him, or even private protectors. You can arrest that public servant by doing the same thing that them predator hunters do. You can, as long as you have the evidence and you have the police phoned, right? So the police come. Maybe if the police are there, it can get a wee bit hairy, because here's the kicker. If you have enough people to ensure that that arrest goes ahead, to be able to help you, record, make sure that everything's lawful, and anybody tries to stop you from doing that, they're an accessory to that criminality, and they can be arrested too. That includes police. Malfeasance in a public office, that police officer's in a public position, they have a duty of care to the public, they're protecting a criminal, they are therefore an accessory to criminality themselves. They can be arrested too. This is all factual, right? So these are simple solutions to what we can all agree on, which is criminality, corruption in government, which is affecting us reality-wise every day. You know, and we all point the finger and blame each other, you know, because maybe Man United's playing Man City, the left's fair against the right, you know, and then you have the middle people that are the crowd just standing watching, but all, I'm getting overwhelmed by what's going on here, you know. But these are just two football teams, these are two teams, you know, you might be in opposition with each other, but these are playing the same game, right? And the goal isn't to destroy the other people, it's to win, right? But when we have the same goal, that means we're on the same team. It's just a really big team. Crime, criminality and corruption. That's what we're all against. Should you be a left freethinker, everybody deserves these rights, or if you're a conservative, right-leaning, that we need to keep things the way that they are working at the minute, and then maybe evolutionarily progress step by step by taking things easy, you know, and being all inclusive and listening to all aspects and being open-minded. Because just because everybody thinks different to you doesn't mean they're on the opposite team. We can be on the same team. So we can. You just don't know it because that person's kicking the ball different to you. They're thinking different. They're saying something different. They're writing something different. They have a different opinion. They're on the same team as you, man. You know. And that's what we should be all focusing on. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. If you can go through my history between Facebook and TikTok, I've made some mistakes. I say even make some now. But I would say that fundamentally, if we can agree on all this sort of stuff, that we'll get there. So we will. And it can be peaceful. As long as we actually make a stand and support each other, we can actually do it. So we can. You don't have to wait the elections to remove corrupt politicians. Go and take them to court. Civil action. Anybody can do it. Civil, not criminal. You don't have to get the police to do it. You can do it yourself. Civil. Malfeasance in a public office. You're a member of the public. They're affecting you through the criminal actions. Have the hearing heard. If you can actually prove they're criminal charges come. They are automatically removed from their job. Judge has to make an order to remove them from that job. Elected position. Whatever. Because they're a criminal, and it's been proven. You don't have to wait to an election to have them voted out. You can get them out by taking them to court. Civil action. That then brings criminal charges. And if you can't stand the amount of criminality that the person is, for example, hypothetical situation, hypothetical, right? If Bill Gates was to be walking down the street, and it's coming out more and more that all these drug companies that went along with the mRNA stuff were knowingly participating in at least causing harm to the public. Now, I'm not going to speculate or sit here and debate all the different opinions, different football players playing different to what people think about it. The fact of the matter is that it's damaging to human health. And we're all aware of that now. The drug companies are admitting it, scientific studies are admitting it. So, Bill Gates being the proponent of all that, if he was walking down the street and you needed the citizens arrest him to make sure that he was not in any way a danger to the public, that he's locked up and has criminal charges brought to him, malfeasance in a public office because he has a duty of care to the public. Yes, it might be through private companies, but he has shares in public companies and that too, through whatever way it works. I'm guessing, may not be correct about that, but either way, he's deemed at the minute what we would call a criminal, right? There's even international criminal courts that are considering bringing charges towards him. So as people, we have a duty of care to arrest that man, if we so please. Even if he's surrounded with security guards, arrest them too. Because they're an accessory to his criminality that they should be fully aware of. Why do you think they're there in the first place? To protect him, because he's a criminal, because he couldn't walk down the street without getting his jaw broke. Fact or not. So, that's what we should be doing, and that's what we should be focusing on. Because we all are part of the same team. And we should be working together to help ensure that there's no more criminality and also no more confusion. Do things right. Agree that if we're going to share something, give people the date, time, where it happened, and what happened. Okay? Don't be just firing something up because you got emotionally invested in it. It made you go, ah, and then decide to share it. We shouldn't be doing that. You know. But I'm not going to lie and say that I've never done that before, because I have. And I even share stuff now with no context to it sometimes, because some of the links I share are of stuff that already has the context written on it. Anyway, I'm going to end that here, right? And I'm making this video because I love everybody, and we should all love each other too. I want the best for each other, even if you're on another team or if you play football different. Okay? We're all on the same team. We want rid of criminals, we want to be free, and we want to live in peace. Peace and quiet. And have fun, spread joy. Receive it. That's what we all want. So, hopefully you find this useful. And the other thing that we should be doing is encouraging other people to engage in what it is that we're posting and sharing. You know, ask the question, what do you think of this? That would be nice to see how other people play football, how other people think about the things that you value. Because you never know, we might all value quite a lot of the same stuff. Right, anyway, chat these all after. Love you.